In high school, everybody called me Zan because my name's Alexander. Kind of stuck. I started making hip hop first, growing up, and my rap name had Zan in it. So later it translated onto the rest of the music I ended up making. Basically, it was like the little peeps and the trippy reds and stuff. So I used to have a mohawk. I used to have a big mohawk, and at that time I just kind of felt like that's something that it needs. Through my life experiences, I feel like I've become very well-rounded, and I feel like that's a big reason I'm able to even make music. Is that kind of well-roundedness of like, okay, I was always good at structuring music, and I was always just good at being able to make it. But now, through my life experiences, I can actually say something that means something to people because of the stuff that I went through. And I always felt when I was making hip hop music that, like I said, I felt like I needed to let my nuts hang. So I talked about crazy experiences in my life, all the, the stuff that I guess was, in a way, it was kind of trauma. And you're kind of talking about it, you're rapping about it almost like you're flaunting it, but it's trauma. So when I get on stage, it's a big thing that I talk about. But I always like to mention mental health, and not just not just all mental health, but also men's mental health. As a Hispanic male, you grow up thinking, you gotta hide your feelings, you can't talk about your feelings, and sure, that can help you, in life. And it's just a matter of knowing, when to, when you can be vulnerable and when you can't. It's also a toxic thing that kind of, it'll stop you from growth. It'll stop you from, just different things that, like that. I feel like that's where mental health is not understood, is because a lot of people didn't really go through it. So if you didn't grow up around, a toxic environment where, you can't talk about the things you've been through, shit, you end up like me. I really enjoy being able to be vulnerable through my music. Now, making metal music because it's touched a lot more people. So we're at the studio right now. This is my boy Jojo Centineo. This is his studio.
What's goody? What's cracking?
He's been my producer for a long time.
And I met Zan in a green room at one of our shows. I think the two singers came up to me and they're like, yo, this rapper wants to meet you, this rapper wants to meet you. And I was like, all right, cool. And this dude walks in with the mohawk as big as the Eiffel Tower. And he's got some homies with him. They're all in leather jackets. And they all look better than us. They all look like a cooler version of us. They all look like they're in a metal band. And we're all fucking just, wearing basic shit.
So 3 hours later, we're getting somewhere, baby. We're gonna go get tacos later. Freestyle the melody in my head, and then I'll start adding lyrics as I go. So everything that you've been experiencing, and then you just go in there and you speak what comes to mind, which is your experiences, your memories of shit you've done. So I think that's the best way to record, right off the top of the head, off the top of the dome, as they say. I always liked hip hop, but I was also one of those kids that was like a rocker fool. I had my own, little fucking, what were the old little the iPods?
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, like a
the
nano.
Small ones,
the
yeah,
nano,
nanos. I had a whole bunch of, rock music on it, and that's kind of where my love started for rock, is when I was younger. So it was always something I wanted to do and transition into, because I like doing hip hop and stuff like that. But my dream was always to kind of have a band, kind of do that. And my friend Jojo was kind of the first one who kind of said, yeah, if you want to do that, we can make something happen. And we made it happen, man. It's pretty cool.
I feel like if you write the vocals next for the chorus, it'll tell us what the rest of the song should do.
Cause I like it. Like I like what's going on.
I feel like to get a really good song, it's like, all right, we have a
Yeah,
cool
you want
chorus
me to do something on that chorus?
Yeah.
Okay,
we got a
okay.
Cool chorus.
Okay,
I can
just
loop
play it for me, and
Yeah.
I'll write something right now.
I'll
for you.
load a couple bowls and shit.
Hell yeah, brother.
Because who knows, maybe the verses just become a soft part. every song, there's always like the first idea that we do that everyone's like, oh, this is what we're gonna do today. And I'm like, I always know, nah, that's what's gonna get deleted today. And that first shit we did is, I guarantee you we delete all of it. I guarantee you we reshape the song around whatever he does chorus-wise. But that's like another part of the process. Sometimes you don't necessarily delete it, sometimes you just reshape it, but like, and sometimes you're like, in a flow, you're like, you know, writing. So like, you know, maybe the next idea is just gonna be off rip good, but you know, me and him just sitting down for the first time in a while, and every time I sit down with like a new write or new artist, it's the same thing. Or like writing with someone for the first time in a second, it's like there's always that sacrifice.
You know, I've always had a lot of different influences. You know, growing up, I made a lot of hip hop, and you know, I'm from the South, so we listen to a lot of Southern hip hop, like Gucci Mane. We listen to you know, Big Tuck. We listen to Lil Boosie. We listen to, you know, it's a lot of hood music. Is with the term that you would call it, you know what I mean? But it's southern trap music. You know, you asked about influences, you know, definitely Sonny Sandoval, you know, Chino, Zach De La Rocha, you know, Rage Against the Machine. My uncle, he used to drive me around in his car because he would pick me up from school. He was my dad's brother. He would pick me up and, you know, drive me home, and he would always listen to music I couldn't listen to, music my parents would listen to. So that's what we would listen to, man. It was fucking P.O.D, Deftones. He would smoke weed. At the time, I would smell the smell, and I'd be like, man, he smells funny. Like, you know, my uncle smells funny. You know, as you get older, you smoke, and you're like, man, that's funny. That smell smells like my uncle. He was high in front of me the whole time. I never even knew it. Listening to fucking Deftones. Yeah, I was a little kid. I'm talking like maybe like 5, 6.
Yeah.
Just restart it from the top. I want to restart it from the top. I could do it better. Keep it going on the bottom one. Pull it out more a little. Yeah.
Keep the first 2 bars. You're gonna start in and out and then cut it right there.
Mushrooms grow from shit that's dead, right? That's what they do. So what if a mushroom was just like human energy that goes in when we get buried in the ground? It like, or energy has to come back up somehow, so it comes with a mushroom. When you take mushrooms, you get smart with the knowledge of your ancestors. Not just playing.
Like, I always listened to hip hop, but it was like the thing. Like, people would like battle rap each other and stuff like that. And I never really did the battle rap or none of that, but you know, I would just freestyle with the kids at the table. And that was you know, my introduction to wanting to make music. Really, that's when I was like, damn, okay, I think I can do this. I think this is what I'm good at. And it kind of, you know, just kept happening from there. There's an old Mexican singer. His name was Vicente Fernandez. He used to say, nunca duda que también de dolor se canta cuando llorar no se puede. And that means don't ever doubt that you can't sing your pain away if crying doesn't work. And you know, I believe that you can definitely sing your pain away. You can you know, it's a way to get something off your chest.